Welcome back, everyone, to the HVAC 2.0 show. We are joined back again with Reedie, the man, and we got Ken. We got him off the lawnmower for the day, so now we can get him to see if he can tell us some smart stuff. And TK staying hid behind the general right there. And uh, I guess we'll just hop on into it. Um, well, how's things going for everybody? What you got going on, Reedie?
I've had quite a good time since the last time that we had the meeting. I I've had since that time I've had seven um, free quotes. Some of them have been duct cleaning, so that's not really or duct replacement. That's not really, talking about equipment. But out of the three pieces, I had four pieces of equipment that I quoted. One of them is I'm meeting with her tomorrow. I think she wants to go ahead and go with it. But out of those, the other three, the one of them went with a crossover, which is variable. It's not really super duper fantastic like a green speed or a 5 stage, but she went in there and she decided she was going to do that. It ended up being a $15,000 job. Um, she has I think, 1,100 square foot house. Her load came up to like just at, on the likely load range, it came up at 12,000 to like 28,000 or something like that. I'm not looking at it right in front of me, but she opted to go with a ton and a half, which is it's the crossover. It's variable capacity, 2 stages. It and that's where she stuck. We put in filtration, fresh air. Um, she really noticed the fresh air. She really noticed the filtration. We had to increase the size of one of her returns. So overall, that one went really, really well. It was a first time visit. We had never been out there before. And she had three other quotes. And the other three, no one checked static pressure. No one, talked to her about load or anything of that sort. And so when we got in there and, you know, talked with her about it, showed her the pictures. I mean, when I opened up her cabinet just to look at the equipment, the evaporator coil was dirty as could be, and that of course that
Oh yeah.
doesn't help static pressure. It doesn't help
Oh no.
anything. But the drain, it
Mm.
was clogged up. The pan was clogged up. As a matter of fact, there was a piece of insulation that was laying. She had so little airflow. There was a piece of insulation that was laying after the evaporator coil, but in the blower cabinet, where the blower was. I
What
guess
size equipment did she have, Reedie?
Mm.
What did she have before?
she had a Goodman heat pump, and she had 2.5 ton.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Man. We always find that.
yeah.
So so you said that she noticed a difference with the fresh air and the filtration. What was it exactly that made her notice that difference?
Well, when I got there, one of her things was she said it's dusty, it's noisy, and it doesn't smell good in here.
Mm.
And so, that was an automatic thing that I kept in my mind, wrote down, and we talked about how valuable and how important that was to her. When it came time to do the free quote report, I go over it with them. I went over it with her, and she goes, "Well, I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't like the frowny faces, and I want the smiley faces." She said she wasn't going to get a ventilating dehumidifier. She said she'd get that if she had to. And so what her big notice was is that the dust was not there anymore. The smell wasn't there anymore. And she said when it does come on, and you've got the ventilation in there that's filtered, it smells clean.
Mm-hmm.
And quiet piece of
Nice.
equipment. Her we talked about dehumidification, and she said I'll just see how it goes, and if I have to do it, then I'll do it. I recommended the green speed 5 stage because of the reheat, but she said I just don't want to go that far yet, and if I have to, well, I have to.
What was
Yeah.
she looking at when you got there?
What do you? I don't know what you mean.
Like she had already got 3 quotes,
Oh, she was looking at just 2.5 ton,
single stage.
single stage, basic equipment. There were some, Oxbox and Goodman, and just she just wanted something that blew cold air and blew hot air.
So it is seeming more and more to be the case that when you show up, people are looking for the cheapest thing they can find, and when you leave, they're trying to figure out the best equipment they can afford.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And that pivot, it sounds like you're making that pivot for them.
Yeah, there's a lot of help involved when you just sit there and ask not only the 4 questions but the other ones. There's more help when you do the static pressure testing. There's more help when you show the videos. There's more help when you take some pictures. And then the final bit of help is in that report, where
Like with load range and smiley faces.
Right, where it shows those things. And because this is already something that they said they wanted, so it's not me going after them and saying, hey, this is what you're going to get. It's me saying, we built this specification, you and I did, based on what you wanted. And so, my free quote total on equipment, my closing ratio, if it's equipment only, I'm at 75%. The average sale on a free quote is around 17,000. My blended leads altogether, that's commercial, ducted, just duct or some weird thing that I go out to in equipment, I'm at 58%, and I've got an average sale of 15.3. And so that's largely because of this free quote process that we can show people and we can help them, and then they can make the decision. From that point, who cares? It's their decision whether they want to go with something junky or something good. It's all in their hands. And so that one right there, that was the least sale out of those 3. I had one that we were referral. It was a referral, and their name was the Wheelers. I'd done work for someone years ago, like 5 or 6 years ago, and they called us out. I did the free quote, sat right there at the table with the man. His wife wasn't there. She walked in towards the end, and they have a basement. It's a unique situation because theirs was upflow, and we don't really run into that a lot. But theirs, they ended up, their load, I did the load course without the bloater. We have to do that. It came up and it said it was like 28,000 BTUs for cooling. And so what we ended up putting in there was a green speed 3 tons. We put the fresh air, we put the filtration. They're at $24,000. Before we even put the equipment in, when I was downstairs, and the wife was talking to her mama called in, and I could hear them, through the floors. And, she said, well, what'd you guys do? She said, well, we're going to go with them because these other people, they ain't hitting on nothing. And they didn't talk anywhere near what this guy's talked about. And so we're going to go with them. And so she said, well, what's it going to cost? And she said, $24,000. I heard her mama, whoa. And she goes, yeah, but it's worth it because this guy knows what he's talking about, and it's going to make us feel great. That was a week ago. I went back out there today, and we dropped the static pressure. We didn't change any of the duct except for enlarge. We put a as big of a big air drop as we could because it was limited space, but we enlarged both the return ducts, the flex going to it, put the filtration in there, and it went from 0.7 to 0.43. So that's pretty good.
And a lot quieter, too.
It was a lot quieter. They didn't even know it was running. That was the beauty of it. We didn't even know it. And like I say, that was another one of those, the very first time we went out there. And I'll do one more, and then I'll let somebody else talk. This one, we had been out to this man's house before. This was also probably 5 or 6 years ago that I had been out to this man's house. This is pre-comfort consult, pre any of that stuff. And he bought a 2-ton green speed for his upstairs. Well, I went back out there, and they had done some things in their crawl space. They had a 5-ton. The static was like 0.7. The load came up to 3 tons. They said, no, we're not going down 3 tons. What about we split the difference? I said, perfect, fine with me.
Fine with me.
Yeah, and so we put in a 4-ton. We've got the fresh air. We've got the filtration. I've got the dehumidification because it's a green speed. I've got reheat, and there's $26,000. And you know what? We went out there, and I got that thing. I went over everything with them, and they said, I can't believe how much better this was than, because they had the old version of the green speed, and
Right.
I didn't really care about, back then I didn't care about static pressure in relation to anything other than, was it more than 1? And on their upstairs, their static pressure is, it's not more than 1, but it's also not less than 0.5. So it's,
Oops.
yeah, well, we were just following whatever. And this one, we've got that static pressure nice and low. When I checked it, it was 0.38. And all we did was we increased the size of the returns on the back end of it and dropped the size of the unit. That's $26,000. That's a great sale. It's a
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Nice.
So
The other one was
satisfying to
better
make
sale.
people happy, isn't it?
It is, because especially when all we have to do is ask some questions, build their what they say they want, and then give them all the stuff, give them all the reports, and then let them. It's just like the comfort consult. They're going to do what they want to do. I don't have to do anything but be there guiding them through the process.
How was the first lady static when you got there the first time?
Let me go back because I can, hold on. The very first one.
The one who
Hold
got the crossover.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it to pull up. Hold on, just give me 1 second.
Can you put heat strips on those crossovers and then program dehumidification or not?
That's
Not really.
Only if you use that controller.
Crappy thermostat.
Yeah, that goes with it. That's the only way you can do it.
Okay.
So, hold on. Just give me a second. I got to get back to the page. I lost my thought for a minute.
And are you charging for doing static?
No, I don't.
You just do it as a matter of
just
course.
do it. Right.
Okay.
Hers,
It's been worth it because people are paying attention. They're not disregarding it.
Yeah, because the other thing I do, and I don't know how everyone feels about this, but the other thing I do is you can get the data immediately from the air handler. You can get the airflow data. So when I do that, I show it to them, and we've already watched the video. They've already seen the blood pressure bit. They already know all that stuff. So when I then can come in and say, oh, your static pressure is 0.9 or whatever, and then I come up and I show them that 0.9 isn't even on the scale. What would you like for me to do about that? Well, I don't.
So you show them the table.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And whether they have it or not, it's easy enough to get offline. So for me, it's a literal 5 minute process that
Okay.
the benefit outweighs any weirdness or whatever Diane says about it. So she was at 0.6 and we got her down to 0.4.
Okay. So she had good flow when you were there. I mean, it's not that out of spec.
Right, that's right.
Yeah. Okay.
Reedie, you mentioned whatever Diane says about it. What does she say about it? Probably
Well,
sees no value.
no, she doesn't. She doesn't see. All she sees is that I've got this monster closing ratio and monster, everything else, and she sees that and she says, "I don't know what you're doing, but just keep on doing it." So
Yeah,
as
she's
long as
like
she,
cha-ching.
yeah, leaves me alone, I'm okay. And
Reedie the money machine.
well, I'll tell you, me compared to the other guy's at 36%. So, I mean, you
Yeah,
pick.
you're taking her. She's spending money on these leads, and you're tripling the money she gets back over the other. So
Right.
she's got that's going to be sort of frustrating. You know, she's giving you both a cup full of worms, and you come back with 8 basses, and he comes back with 3 perch.
That's right.
Reedie, you need to take a month off and let her see what it's like without your sales.
Yeah,
Well, that's
right.
that's why I at will. You ought to seen. We won't get into all that, but at will, I take off when I want to, and
Right.
there's not much she can say about that.
How many comfort consults have you done this
It's
year?
funny. It's funny because I've only done. I was just looking at that. I've done one comfort consult this year. I've done one comfort consult since October the 31st.
Oh my
I've done
God! So
one.
it's going to be less than 5. It's going to be less than 5% of your leads, isn't it? Are converting to comfort consults.
Right. Now, I do have one likely coming up. Maybe, maybe not. It's a referral. But I will tell you, the last comfort consult that I did, we did all of it. We did attic insulation, we did air sealing, we did duct work. I put in a smaller piece of equipment. I did fresh air filtration. It was $50,000. So that was a good job.
That was the appropriate decision that homeowner made to get a comfort consult because they needed to have better understanding.
Yeah, they really did because I'll tell you what got me that comfort consult was that there's 2 bedrooms on the upstairs. They got an upstairs and a downstairs, and the 2 bedrooms on the upstairs were their bedroom and their son's bedroom, and those rooms they couldn't keep them conditioned with.
Okay.
Short of that, they didn't know that they had a safety issue with a gas fireplace and a return that was right beside, directly next to that.
Ooh.
They didn't understand that, and they also didn't understand tongue and groove ceilings are not good for having a tight house.
Right.
Were you able to do anything with that? Spray coating or anything?
With the tongue and groove, what I did is where there were leaks that you could see inside the house, we sealed those up. She didn't want us to spray foam because she thought it would come through if we spray foam the thing. So when we blow cellulose insulation, and I don't know how other people do it, but we use water in our cellulose, and so it makes it denser. No, it's not dense packing. That's in the walls. We do it on the roof, and not on the roof, but on the ceiling. And when it makes it so dense, and there's also sort of a for lack of a better word, a crust on the top. When I went back and did, the secondary blower door test, the house is 4,800 square feet. She started out 5,500 square feet, and we got it down to 3,700 CFM. So there was a crawl space, other things that she wasn't allowing us to do, but that's a pretty good lick from where we started.
Oh yeah.
So you got her under 1-to-1.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that was the goal. I mean, I told her, we can always spray foam if that's what you want to do. How much is that going to cost? I said, I don't know. We don't do it. We could arrange it. Well, I don't want to do it. I said, okay. So, because she wanted us to do all of it.
Right.
Yeah. So that was good.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.